It's the Daily Comedy News with your host, Mark Pires. Join us for breaking headlines and all kinds of comedy shenanigans. Brought to you by the BeatSeat.
Good morning, my friend. How are you this morning? Oh my goodness, the morning show Mark inspires, day 1864 in a row. Welcome. I hope you're having a great morning. I hope you have your coffee with you. I hope you're ready to break into the day with me. A couple news stories, maybe a few comedic takes on those news stories. If you'd like to join us on YouTube, you could see the stories. I put them up on the screen and we scroll the news together and we find a couple of things to talk about. We're starting with this Mandalorian story. Apparently, Gina Carano is suing Disney over her, I guess you'd say, illegal firing for things she said on X when she wasn't even working at the time. So we're going to discuss this. We'll read the story, and I want to hear from you. I want you to tell me what you think about this. Is this an unjust firing? Does she have a right to sue Disney? Is Disney out of their mind? Is Disney within their right to act this way? Let's talk about it. Let's get into it. Helen Gale, how are you? S. Coop in the house and Barella. It's so good to see S. Coop here in the morning. We are here every morning at 9 a.m. Hope you could join me. And then live again at night, writing a lot of music. Last night we wrote another song. Don't know why. I was listening to it and it sounded like there was that crackling again. So I'm really not sure why I'm getting this issue with the audio, but hopefully it's not like that now. Let's get into the news. I got Matt Zabrowski here with a woo-hoo. I'm going to pop this up on the screen. Again, TikTok, you can join us on the YouTube channel. The link is in my bio. All you have to do is look right above my head. Let's see if we can get this open here.
Amazing how often I forget.
Go. So this is the first story of the day. We're going to pull it up and see if we can get into it. Gina Carano. Let me see if I can move myself off the screen here. How's everybody doing? How are you doing? Where are you tuning in from? Where are you sitting down enjoying your coffee this morning? I want to hear from you. Let's see. This is the story, Gina Carano. Gina Carano on Tuesday sued Lucasfilm, its parent company, the Walt Disney Corporation, over her 2021 firing from The Mandalorian, saying she was let go for expressing right-wing views on social media. The lawsuit Carano filed was with help from X, formerly Twitter, in federal court in California, alleges her wrongful termination for the Star Wars Galaxy Disney Plus streaming series after 2 seasons over a post likening the treatment of American conservatives to the treatment of Jews in Nazi Germany. Interesting. Didn't know that happened. A short time ago, in a galaxy not so far away, defendants made it clear that only one orthodoxy in thought, speech, or action was acceptable in their empire, and that those who dared to question or failed to fully comply would not be tolerated. The lawsuit opens. Carano was terminated from her role as swiftly as her character's peaceful home planet of Alderaan had been destroyed by the Death Star. So they had to look make a little connection there to the film. To the series, whatever the heck it was. I didn't watch it. The lawsuit alleges she was fired because she dared to voice her own opinions against an online bully mob who demanded her compliance with their extreme progressive ideology. Disney and Lucasfilm have not filed a response to the lawsuit, and representatives did not immediately respond to an email requesting a comment. Oh, I missed the woohoo. Zabrowski, I'm sorry. We'll still pay you for it today, though. Sorry. A Lucasfilm statement at the time. What's that? No, Zabrowski, it was probably a good one. I don't know. He goes, was it good? I don't know. I didn't even hear it. I was so enthralled in the storyline that I missed the woohoo. Jules, how are you? So good to see you. Daniel Miller, YouTube at. Link is in the bio. We're running through the news. We scroll the news. Try to make some comedy out of it. See if we can find some joy in the early part of the day, some connection. This is a daily show every single day since December 31st, 2018. My hope is that we can generate a place for us to be positive, once in the morning and once at night. So wherever you are in the world, you can join the live Mark Inspires show. That's my hope. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to keep doing this twice a day thing, guys, because it has to build very quickly if I'm going to do this. So help me if you can. I really appreciate it. Share, leave a comment, like. Make sure when you show up and you see this show, just like it, okay? I think that helps us a lot. If we get 100 views or 200 views on a video and we get 200 likes, that may get us 400 views. So really appreciate if you see me at all, just hit the screen and share. It's going to help us hopefully continue this twice a day show. I really would love to do it. I just need your help in order to continue. So A Mandalorian starring Pedro Pascal has aired for 3 seasons and is now turned into a feature film. Several interconnected series also air on Disney+. The lawsuit says Lucasfilm also heard her future work. Jules, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it. Guys, if you're here, say hello. You can join us on the YouTube channel. That is where it's easier for me to communicate with you. Although right now when I'm doing the news, I can't see anything. So right now I'm just kind of working blind. Let's get back into it here. I think it's always nice to put a little bit of music in here. I like this song. I wrote this probably day 90 or 100 in this streak. I remember I was jamming out. I felt like this really cool, like tango vibe. I never wrote any lyrics for it. It's a very pretty song. We'll pop that in the background. Carano, a mixed martial artist, played the recurring character of Cara Dune. Is it Dion? Dion. Yeah, Dion. On the bounty hunter tale, The Mandalorian, deleted the post, but it was widely shared online and spurred a trending #FireGina Carano hashtag. Carano had previously been criticized for a social media post that mocked mask wearing during the pandemic. Why would she do that? And made false accusations and allegations of stuff that happened in the last time around when there were, you could see this on the screen, when there were 2 people that fought for the chance to run the country, you know, and then there's one who's asleep at the wheel currently. She also mocked the use of gender pronouns and profiles, listing beep/bop/boop in her social media profile, in her bio. Beep, bop, boop. Isn't that like a Star Wars thing? Beep, bop, boop. I don't know why that's offensive. That's just a joke. We have to stop being so sensitive, people. Seriously. Like, you have to start thinking about that. If you want to be you and you want to be something, you got to be open to the idea that people are going to make fun of you for being you. I'm out here being me. Someone's going to come along and say, I don't think you're funny. I don't like your music. I don't like the news when you read it. This is open. That's what you're doing. When you're opening yourself up to the world and saying, this is who I am, then you're opening up yourself to the world of people who say, well, you're an idiot. And there's nothing wrong with that. I do a movie, a feature film live in the moment where I improvise. It could be the stupidest thing in the world to you. Now, am I allowed to tell you you can't make fun of me for making a stupid film? Am I allowed to say that now that's considered harassment and bullying and I'm a protected class as a comedian? No, it's stupid. We're here in life expressing self. If you're going to express yourself, you have to assume that there's people on the other side who don't like that expression. You can't go out and start suing people for that or firing them from jobs for having a different opinion. What makes us so unique is the fact that we think differently, we look different, and we are different, but we all embody the same emotional structure. We just find those emotions at different times. We find our connection to truth differently, and we gravitate towards different beliefs based on how we feel and how we feel about people. And so I'd say, I don't understand really why she was fired. I didn't see anything here that I would be like, oh my goodness, she has to be fired. Personal opinion, it's free speech. If you're going to fire someone for saying something you don't like, oof. You know, this is something that I remember hearing years ago. They said, you know, these younger people have to realize everything you post is going to come back to haunt you. So be careful what you put online. If you're someone getting into the workforce and you're out there promoting specific opinions, ideology, or you're out there doing something bad, like I'm smoking cigarettes or I'm drinking alcohol or I'm doing something bad in a video when I was 19 years old or something like this, these people, all they do is research in order to determine who they want on their workforce. And they'll have a company go and look at every piece of content you ever put out and see if you're worthwhile to have on staff. And something you did when you're 19 can destroy your future when you're 25. So keep that in mind if you're somebody who has a social media platform, or if you're just on TikTok, or if you're on, Clapper, if you're on YouTube. Well, YouTube, I would say you're creating content. But if you're on just doing hey guys, look, I'm brushing my teeth. You're dropping F-bombs and all this stuff. That's seen by a recruiter one day. So I would say it's weird, but you always have to present yourself professionally, even if you're a kid and you're saying something to friends online. Still, somehow you have to come from a professional angle, or else that could come back to haunt you one day. Consider the guy Aditya Verma that I did the story on just the other day. Aditya Verma is this chooch 19-year-old college kid who decided when he got up in a plane to send his friends a Snapchat that said, "I'm Taliban, I'm going to take down the plane." That scrambled jets. $150,000 later, I think, they tried to sue him for $120,000, I think, and he got off. They was like, "No, nobody should have known this was real." But that message right there, a recruiter comes and sees that one day and says, "Well, no, we were looking at this guy Aditya Verma, but he was like joking that he's going to take a plane down and like that he's Taliban. Like, I'm not sure what world this guy lives in where he thinks that's a funny joke. No, we're not going to hire him." Like, I still don't understand why he thinks that was funny. Like, how is that even? Oh, I'm a Taliban. Ugh. Aditya Verma. Go watch the story. So Carano, I guess that's basically it, guys. The lawsuit says Carano willingly took part in a Zoom meeting with leaders of the LGBTQ plus groups at the company's behest with very positive results, but that Lucasfilm demanded a public apology in which she admitted to mocking or insulting an entire group of people, which Carano had never done, and subjected her to other harassment over the issue. Carano said on a social media Tuesday that X had helped fund the lawsuit. X owner Elon Musk shared her post, adding that anyone who felt they had been treated wrong by the company should let us know if they would like to join the lawsuit against Disney. So Elon Musk is putting his money where his mouth is, and if you did get fired or you were treated unethically by Disney Corporation for your political views or for something you said about a specific protected class of people, you may have an opportunity to fight that in court. And you should take advantage of that. I think the issue is when people stand by and they allow insanity to become law, then you wind up moving into a system that you can't have any say over. And once they push those things through, oh my goodness, you've lost it all. It's over. I saw a really interesting speech, gentleman from Argentina, talking about why it's important to have capitalism and how if you look at the entire existence of humankind and you look at how all growth has taken place, you could see that the only system that's worked is this system that we have that they're trying to destroy. And he also explained, he goes, I can't believe how even taking the wall down and all these things, he's like, they still want to push these socialism. No, socialism has never worked. Socialism, communism, they've never worked ever in the history of time. And yet they try to push it. And it's like, no, capitalism is the only thing that works. And you still have to take care of your own. But at the end of the day, you got to push the system that works. And his parallel was, when the system breaks down, you don't blame the people, you don't blame anything but the system. You go back to the system and you fix the system. And we don't seem to do that here. It's like, no, let's just put more socialism in. And like I said, if you're into that, not trying to offend anybody, I'm just reading a news story here. So what else do we have in the news today? Let's find out. Haley loses Nevada GOP primary to none of the above. What? I gotta see what the hell that is. What does that even mean? Was Trump not on it?
I wasn't in Reno, no, I was down in Las Vegas throwing the dice, winning big league up there with Melania.
Guys, in an embarrassing setback, former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley lost the Nevada GOP primary Tuesday to none of these candidates. The loss is largely meaningless because former President Donald J. Trump decided to skip Nevada, winning big league, and instead is expected to win the GOP-run caucuses Thursday night. That victory will give him all 26 of the state's delegates. But it's symbolic hit to the former governor who came in third in Iowa and second in New Hampshire and heads next to her home state, February 24th, Republican primary. Now that's going to be something. If she loses in her own state, just friggin' back away, lady. She captured almost 32% of the vote, while none claimed nearly 62%, with close to 2/3 of the state's votes counted. So people came in, they were like, we don't want her. She was the only one on. I'm not trying to figure out, was Trump even on it? A number of Republican voters initially confused why Trump wasn't on their ballot. Said they voted for none of these candidates in support of the former president. I wanted Donald Trump to be on there, said Republican voter Ron Stanley, 64, a truck driver who dropped off a ballot in person in downtown Reno shortly before noon. So this is what we got so far. This is Republican for Nevada. 63% want the Trumper. 89% of Democrats want a guy who can't even speak anymore. He shuffles around a stage, doesn't even know his name, and craps in a triple diaper. That's where we are as a country, just so you know. This is unbelievable. I am in the twilight zone, I swear it. I'm in the twilight zone. 89%. Why isn't there more none of these candidates that voted on that guy? Like what? You know what it is? The gaslighting campaign of how dangerous it is to have the guy who was in for 4 years that didn't start a war and only said mean tweets, how dangerous that is for our democracy instead of losing our democracy to a basically entire new generation of people. There's like 40 million people in our country right now that don't follow our rule of law, by the way. That's a good thing. Did you see what happened in New York City? Hold on, I want to see if I can find this for you guys because this just blew my mind. Let's see if we can find this here. Illegal beats up cop.
Several migrants connected to the beatdown of multiple New York City police officers were just arrested in Phoenix, Arizona. They're found at a Greyhound bus station after leaving New York, where they were freed without bail. Tom Feely is a former director of New York Ice Removals. Tom joins me now. So now Bragg will finally present charges to the grand jury with regard to these folks. All it took was a cross-country escape for him to do so.
Fugitive search. Where's
Good morning, Todd.
Tommy Lee Jones when you need him?
I was listening to the DA speak the other day. He was like, the reason I didn't ask for bail is because I didn't have enough evidence. Unless me and you are missing something, we're both looking at a video right now that portrays this whole event.
What's so fascinating to me about what you just said and what Bragg said, it shows an underlying lack of understanding as to what bail is there for. Bail is there to keep people from fleeing.
Oh my goodness, guys. But good thing, right? Good thing they let him out without bail after beating the heck out of the cops. Did you see that? All 5 of the guys are beating on this cop. He's on the ground. They let him out without bail. And if you heard the excuse from the New York State, corrections, whatever the heck it is, they're like, oh, well, they promised to be back. They promised to come back. And they're freaking Arizona, just arrested in Arizona. Good job. New York's doing an unbelievable job. Hilly says Gina was a pro mixed martial artist. She fought in the UFC and I think another small promotion. Yes, Hilly, I was looking at that before the show today that she was a UFC fighter. She actually said she hasn't ruled out going back to the UFC, but definitely interesting when I saw those photos. Like, she almost looks like a different person. Like, she was like lean and mean at that time, and now she's a movie star, so it's a little different. But I would love to see her in action fighting. I never saw her fight before. But you know what? That actually says a lot because she's fighting. This goes back to what we're talking about. People who have strong beliefs, they fight for them. People who don't take no for an answer continue to fight. And when someone tries to change reality or tries to install new ways to live that don't work with humanity, and they kind of work against common sense, then you have to speak up. Gina Carano is someone who speaks up, says how she feels. She went beep, bop, boop And that's offensive to a group of people. Like, you got to start realizing that you're out of your mind if you're getting offended by everything. It's on you. It's not on the person saying whatever they're saying. It's on you. You got yourself offended. And that's just the reality of it. You know, you can't control what other people say. You can't control what other people call you. What you can control is your emotional response when someone calls you something or when someone doesn't say the thing you want them to say. You have to figure out how to, oh my goodness. Guys, did I even talk about what's coming up in November or what happened 4 years ago? I literally worked around it and didn't say anything about it. And on TikTok, it says, learn more about the U.S., the thing that there's the big fight over between the guys that are running. I mean, basically, I told you about Nikki Haley and that there wasn't, but I don't know, now there's a little thing on the bottom of my TikTok that says, learn more about the U.S. election. Like, this AI crap is ridiculous. If you say anything they don't like, well, let's just make sure this guy's not saying anything that we have to fact check. I haven't said anything. I'm reading a news story, TikTok. All right, thanks. This is literally live news. You're talking about USA Today. Okay, this is fact checked by USA Today already before they put it out. Thanks for coming out, TikTok. Unreal. Let me put a warning on the screen so everyone knows that we know the truth about the U.S. Yeah, you do. You guys know everything. Unreal. So guys, we're back into the news here. Nothing to do with that crap. I'm done with politics, people. We're not ever talking politics. It's stupid. Clearly, living in the twilight zone. What does sports streaming megadeal mean for viewers, for fans? What we know. I don't know what this is. We're just going to quickly check. I don't really watch sports, but I know you do. So let's see what they're doing here. A huge new sports streaming service is scheduled to launch this fall with content from all major sports. But what does this mean for viewers? 3 of the top television companies in American sports delivered a bombshell announcement Tuesday that said they were forming a joint all-in-one streaming service that will provide sports content from all major sports leagues, plus college football, college basketball, and more. Well, what does that mean to the average sports viewer? Let's find out. ESPN, Fox, and Warner Brothers Discovery shared only some details of their agreement Tuesday. To gain a better understanding of it beyond that, USA Today contacted sports business and legal experts about where this is headed, what it may cost, and how it will affect viewing habits. It is certainly surprising, said Neil Pilson, the former president of CBS Sports. He also called it a potential watershed moment. The companies otherwise are competitors with each other for viewers, so advertising revenue, sports media rights, but in this case are joining to form a new streaming app scheduled to launch this fall, with each company owning 1/3 of it. So I guess this is actually a pretty smart idea because no matter what you're watching, they're all collecting 1/3 on that revenue. So if you watch them live on NBC, then they're getting all the revenue. But if you happen to watch in their streaming service, they're all making a 33%. It's just pretty great idea because you're going to capture all of the audience that way. But what does this mean? The joint venture would be offered directly to consumers and will include ESPN+, plus access to 14 linear networks, ESPN, ESPN2, etc., etc. All right? I'm not reading all those names. You could head over to YouTube and see it, right? You guys are here looking at it. You can see all those names. I'm not reading all those names.
TNT and TBS.
No, I'm done with the reading. We're moving forward on the news story. To me, this goes a long way to solving the sports dilemma that many viewers face. I'm not sure how, but they would like to cut the cord to cable television. But if you are a sports fan, it's very, very difficult to do so. And all you want of what you want. This goes a long way to remedying that situation. How much does streaming service cost viewers? It'll be determined, but Thompson predicted it would cost more than $40. The math would have worked for 3 companies that are paying huge fees to sports leagues and rights to show this content. So, last year ESPN took in more than $9 per subscriber for cable television. So, anyway, what do you guys think about that? I actually kind of like the idea because I hate cable TV. I haven't watched TV in 5 years. So I don't really care about TV, but the idea that you can maybe tune in on an app or on your iPad and watch anything you want and kind of scroll through almost like you would for a menu in the cable world, but you're just seeing all sports. It's actually a pretty cool idea. And I think that the back end of these 3 companies deciding that they just own it and they split the revenue 1/3 that actually is going to create more opportunity for them, cross-marketing, and I don't know. You know, this may actually lead to something even bigger where those three companies eventually become one and they become some mega company and all of them are under one brand. I mean, that would be kind of what it seems like it's going towards, you know? Right now, hey, look, we're 33rd apiece. Well, guys, why don't we just all put it together, one corporation called Una Company or Una Sports, and now you're doing it as one. Who knows? What do you think about that? Let's see what else we have here. What happens to Queen Camilla if King Charles dies? It's complicated, like everything else in 2024. Let's see what happens, guys. The news that King Charles III has some kind of cancer has triggered legions of what if questions on both sides of the Atlantic. One scenario is the ailing king decides to abdicate his throne, tend to his health, and immediately putting a spotlight on his eldest son and first in line to the throne, Prince William. Now, I'm pretty sure she becomes queen consort, but let's see. I'm not sure if that's what it means. We'll see. The process, of course, speeds up if Charles were to die, bringing about the reign of King William V. Unlike he chooses another name, in that instance, a different question arises. What then happens to Queen Consort Camilla? The answer is nuanced, according to royal experts. The complicated reality in which King Charles will have certainly spelled out his wishes for his wife in great detail. The reigning monarch, in this case King William, ultimately controls how much or how little a role Queen Consort Camilla would have in her later years. I would say nil. She wasn't even in the, like banging it out while Diana was alive, and then she's now queen. Like, we're not going to talk about that.
Oh, she's the queen consort.
No, she's queen hooker. I'm just, she was doing it back in the day, literally doing it with Charles, and now he's the king, Charles III. I hope he recovers. I think he's actually, I don't know there's something cool about the way King Charles looks. He's got that look, like that I own everything look, and like you're nothing. You look at him, he's just like, you're a peasant. He's got that look. Something special about that, right? We're indentured servants. He rules the land. And he has a Range Rover. Guys, so let's see what Queen Camilla Consort has to do. I'm pretty sure they would just be like, lady, why don't you just go hang out in the country, at one of the consortiums. What's more, upon King William's ascension to the throne, his wife, Princess Kate, would become queen. So now you got a double queen deal going. And how do you deal with that? Oh, the mum queen. No, I'm sorry. We're getting rid of the consort. I told you, consortium, just centered to it. She's there now, Shoot, we do miss King Charles III, though. He was a good guy. I'm king now, though. King William V. Guys, he's ready with Kate. King Kate, Queen Kate. It's 2024. She could be King Kate if she wanted to be. That's not to say Camilla would quickly be forgotten. Already forgotten. No, despite the made-for-TV scandals that precede. Oh my goodness. Listen to this. That's not to say Camilla would be quickly forgotten. Despite the made-for-TV scandals that preceded her marriage to King Charles, Camilla, arguably Charles' first love, was embraced by many Brits when she was crowned alongside her husband in May of elaborate coronation. Can I ask you, how was she Charles's first love? Was Camilla together with Charles before he married Diana? Now I got to research that, because this guy's trying to pretend like they were like his first love before he met Diana. There we go. Here's the timeline of their dramatic relationship. King Charles and Camilla Parker Bowles met the first time in 1907 at a polo match and started dating. They broke things off when Charles went off to sea. Camilla married Andrew Parker Bowles in 1973 and 1981. Okay, so they did know each other first. Interesting. This is her. This is them right there. Look at guys. Hold on, Amana. This is them prior, when they were just young lads. Where's that picture, though? I want to see the one when they're young. I don't see it anymore. I saw it. You saw it. American people saw it. It's right here, but I don't know why I can't move this freaking thing so you can see. I mean, interesting. Here we go. No, that's a crappier shit photo. I can't get these to open up. There it is. That's still over my head. Anyway, so bottom line, yeah, I guess he knew Camilla first. Still, he's banging it out while he's married to his wife, you know? And that ain't right. By the way, yesterday, this was weird to me. Hold on a second. Can I get this? Hopefully you see this. Well, I don't know why I'm not able to do this in real time. No, it's not working. So this right here, I don't know why this screen won't pop up. I yesterday looked for a list of commanders while I was live with you guys. And that was what came on. And for some reason, it won't show you. It's so weird. I have this window capture thing that whenever I open up a window, it shows you what I'm looking at. And that one, when I typed in list of commanders, because I was doing this whole comedy bit about how you went from respecting the Native American population and having a hold on American football to wiping them off, just like you did when you took land from them. There's just this whole comedy bit I did. And, you know, you would think, that would, I'd be able to show you, like on the screen, the commanders that are out there. So when I typed in commanders, commandants, whatever, I was trying to find commanders to prove to you that they're all white people. Like there's been like one black commander, everybody else has been a white commander. And so I'm like, you got rid of Native Americans to put some white people as the front to your football team. I was like, that's even more, like, that's weird to me. Like, to me, it seems like a reverse discrimination. You're like, you're getting rid, and it's all just discrimination. You're discriminating against Indians and making it about something that doesn't exist. And then you're giving it back to white people. I don't know, it's just a weird, it was comedy. It was comedy, guys. So Camilla Parker Bowles knew Charles first. I didn't know that. This is why we're here to do this show. We learn in real time what's going on. But she's basically probably going to be just sent off, you know, to her death. Not literally, but, you know, like, just go and die, lady, you know? We'll give you the castle, though. You're there with your stupid schnauzer. You know? And I'm here with my wife, Kate. We're taking over, you know? Buckingham Palace. Guys, historically, the monarch's widows have been called the Queen Dowager, while King George's the Fourth's to Sixth's, what the hell is that one? Sixth's, right? King George VI's wife, Queen Elizabeth, became the Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, to distinguish her from her daughter. Whatever. The unlikely case of an abdication or eventually the current king's death, the new King William would call all the shots. It would be down to him. In accordance to his father's and stepmother's wishes, of course, they say little, but every aspect of her public and private life would be reviewed. As for where she would live, it would likely be one of the number of royal residences. I told you, a castle in the woods, you know, with a shotgun in case it gets really bad, you know. Which one might depend on the wishes of her husband. But ultimately, the new king would make the decision. There's the new king right there. He's kinging it, you know. King of the castle. It's his discretion, definitely. But I'm sure King Charles III would have his own wishes made clear about that. That his son could just literally say, I don't freaking care. I'm the king now. You know? These kings have been known to be ruthless motherfuckers, you know, in the past. And they'll just do whatever the hell they want. King Henry VIII murdered all these women because they weren't giving him a boy. And he had the bad seed. It was him, you know? Back then, you couldn't say that. Hey, chop your head off. I'm sorry? What did you say to me? It's my problem? No, I'm sorry. You keep bringing me crap women. I'm here. I'm doing it. Literally. And you keep... Another girl? What's going on here? What's wrong with that lady? She looked good, you know? But what the... A little girl comes out again. I got 94 daughters. Just looking for one son. What's that? No, he had 3 eyes. That wasn't a good example, okay? There's something wrong with her, too. She gives me a son with 3 eyes? Cyclops. No, he has a Cyclops. He has a Triclops. Sometimes when you're in it, you don't realize how deep it goes, the Triclops. You know, I don't know why you don't see more about the Triclops, you know, in historical documents. You find lots of the Cyclops. Triclops? No. I think I have to contact Rich Killian for a Triclops. You know, sometimes when you're in the middle of a news story and you realize that there is a new species that you can identify, that you could bring to the surface, you could classify. Triclops. You can see everything. That center eye, whew, that's the good one. Anyway. Oh my goodness, the things that I... See, I don't know, like honestly, I don't know if that's funny, but I think that's funny. I just think that anything that leads to something stupid is funny. And like, Triclops? What? I don't know. It's just me. I gotta ask Raven. Raven, is there any comedy in the Triclops, and that there are no historical documents with Triclops? Like, I just think that's funny. Why am I on USA Today today? You know, I don't know. Whoa, mass FedEx driver sentenced to 6 days for stealing guns from packages. 6 days? What in the freaking heck is wrong with this world, guys? Guys, we're gonna put you in jail for 6 days. You think about it. You think about what you did wrong with stealing those guns and then, you know, selling them in the black market. 6 days. That's a good ruling, Judge. You got him. You gave it to him firm. Stealing guns out of UPS packages, FedEx style. You know, like next it's USPS. That guy's getting 5 days. We go down with our punishments here in the United States, 2024. Like, well, the first guy gets hit with the hardest sentence of all. I'm sorry? Oh yeah, no, that's a 6-day term, you know. You get out after 6 days. You do a lot of thinking. General population, you're in there, you're thinking about what you did wrong. We do one short of a full week, you know, that's too much. You know, we can't put you in for a week. That would be, you know, like, really, I guess you would say that that's a crime against humanity to do 7 days, because you were just stealing guns to shoot and kill people. And that one, this is a 6-day term, you know. Look it up, look it up. Massachusetts State Penal Code, number 537.9-6, you know. That one says it all. And I know you're all now looking up your Massachusetts Penal Code books. Oh, I gotta find my book. Let me see, what was it? -6. Nailed it. You know? Guys, sometimes you record it to memory. The Massachusetts Penal Code list. And when it comes up in a story, you're able to just, you know, you guys need to know about that? Why am I the only one who knows about the Massachusetts Penal Code list? I don't have it, you know, in my memory. It's locked in, you know, frozen in time, so to speak. Back to the news. So the guy, he's 6 days in it? Is that what we're really doing here? House Republicans failed to impeach Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. The worst. Hello, 40 million people in America right now. And they're like, nah, we'll just give them $2,000 a month and lodging and send them to Connecticut and everywhere. That deserves another term, guys. I was thinking, actually, like, regardless of what happens in November, you should keep that guy on. That guy's doing it. What? No, I mean, I guess, you know, he could have stopped, you know, at the swarm. Yeah, he could have stopped the caravan and stopped the insanity at any time. You're right, you're right. But that's like, no, I'm not really sure. Yeah, he's crap. I don't really know what happened here. You gotta wonder. I often say there's nobody on our side. Like, you guys, someone brought up this great point. They said, everybody, these people, we're all at home trying to do something. We're trying to make a living. We're trying to support our families. We're trying to get through life. And we're like stuck in this world where we think that we're a part of things we're not a part of. For example, we'll go and watch like a football game and I'll say like, the Giants are my team. Like, but they're not my team. They don't even freaking know I exist. I like them, but they don't like me. They don't even know me. They don't care about me. They're just there. They're making $50 million a year because that's my team. And I'm throwing money at all these things that mean nothing. You know what I mean? And you have to just start wondering, like, when do you start really caring about your team? You know? And that's the people that are really important and do something and know you exist. And they react to the things that you do. They don't, I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out how to not get in trouble by talking about these things. But I got to say, I can't deal with the insanity of this world where it seems to me like no matter which party you think is your party, that's not your team, dude. They're not your people. These people, Republicans, Democrats, none of them are our people. None of them are our team. They do not care about Americans. They do not care about the citizen. And I don't think that should get me in trouble to say that. I'm not saying one party's better than the other. I'm saying they're both crap. They're both crap. None of them do anything for America. Like, there was a poll I saw. Let's see if I can find this poll. Here we go. Poll. American wishes versus what they get. It was pretty bad. There's like a graph, and it shows that they basically only work for the elite. They work for the special interests. I can't spell right now. What the hell's going on? Oh my goodness. Poll Americans wish. Trust in Americans. The political system at new lows. Let's see what this says. Okay, Americans are united in their negative perception of national politics, the new Pew report. So I think a lot of people are thinking the way I am. These people are not on our side. Okay, polls, Americans' legislative wish list. I think this is the one right here. Frustration with political systems. At least 1 in 4 Americans, regardless of political affiliation, wish for electoral and political reform. I was trying to find this graph. Okay, political or electoral reform tops Americans' legislative wish list. So that's what we want this is what we want. Justice, equal rights, abortion, income or taxation. Term limits, 19% of people want to get term limits in there. This isn't what I was talking about. Yeah, it's tied to the perceptions. No, to the reality of the decision making. Stanford. Oh, but the perception of perceptions. Do you see the world we live in? These are all decisions being made. These are actual decisions. This is the reality where we're living out the reality that they've pushed us through. So I don't even want to read all this, but the bottom line is transparency in voting decisions, blah, 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 all that stuff. You can read it if you want. I just think we do need a third party. You see this here. It says, is America ready for a third party? Absolutely. Because I don't think either party cares about the people. Like, we're not getting the things we want done. It's all about the things they want to focus on. And I think, as a whole, this entire country should be very concerned about who comes into our country. This whole narrative of saying, oh, well, you have to have humanity. No, humanity starts with protecting your own humanity. So protecting your culture, your way of life. And you allow anybody who wants to come in. They just come in legally so you know the friggin' hell they are. This whole idea, no, let them all in. We'll figure it out later. Let's give them $2,000 a month and a place to stay. This is mental. This is how you lose a country. Nobody wants to think about Venezuela, but go and look at Venezuela. It was the richest country, one of the richest countries in the world. Now, $1 million is worth a loaf of bread in Venezuela. It's like money means nothing, and it's run by communism, and it's over. Maduro, it's all over. These people, they get murdered for speaking out. There's no more rights. This is where, this is the world we live in, not even necessarily our world. It's like the entire world wants to push towards this crazy control. And I don't want to get myself in trouble, so I'm just going to move on. I always do this, get myself in trouble by speaking my mind. You know? Oh, you got another strike. But for what? For what? Reading the news. I didn't say anything at all today. Jerky people who are YouTuber. Haley loses to another. Yeah, we already read that story. I don't want to do any more political stuff. Can you guys put something on the screen? Here we go. Taylor Swift threatened to sue the college student who tracks her private jet. Now that I can read without getting in trouble. Aircraft tracking mobile Jack Sweeney said he has received a cease and desist notice from Taylor Swift. The letter called on Sweeney to stop stalking and harassing. He told Business Insider he does not intend to harm Swift, but uses the accounts for transparency. Taylor Swift has threatened to take legal action against the college student who tracks her private jet and manages social media accounts that publish its flights. The pop star's lawyer sent Jack Sweeney, a University of Central Florida student who made headlines for tracking Elon Musk's private jets, a cease and desist letter in December. The Washington Post reported on Tuesday. The notice, which Sweeney confirmed to Business Insider that he had received, calls for him to stop stalking and harassing behavior and said the jet tracking had caused Swift to live in a constant state of fear for her personal safety. While this may be a game to you or an avenue that you hope will learn you of fame or wealth, it's the life or death matter for our client. Ms. Swift has dealt with stalkers and other individuals who wish to harm her. It also seemed to reference Sweeney's past dispute with Elon Musk about the jet tracking accounts. We are aware of your public disputes with other high-profile individuals and your tactics in those interactions, including offering to stop your harmful behavior only in exchange for items of value. Sweeney told BI that he appreciates Swift's music and has no intention of harming those he tracks. He said he curates the accounts for transparency and public information. Sweeney has also tracked a number of celebrities and billionaire jets, including Mark Zuckerberg and Tom Cruise. I think the people are interested, Sweeney said. You should have a decent expectation that your jet will be tracked. Whether or not it is or do is whether or not I do it as, after all, what the freaking hell? Whether or not I do it as, after all, it's a public, I don't know what kind of writing this is, or he spoke this way, but your jet will be tracked. Whether or not I do, I will decide on my own, okay? And it's all public information. In response to the letter, the Post reported Sweeney reached out to the Electronic Frontier Foundation, a nonprofit that connected him to James Slater, an attorney based in Florida. Bottom line, she's trying to sue. He's trying to just get some public information out there. You got to understand there's no expectation of privacy in public. I don't care if you're Taylor Swift, if you're Mike Tyson, if you're Tom Cruise, no expectation of privacy in public. You can't sue people for that. Sorry. You get a cloaking system. Oh, I don't want people to know where I am. You're freaking Taylor Swift. What are you going to do about it? You know? I don't even know. Does this go anywhere? I don't think this goes anywhere. That's like when you're out there and you see these First Amendment auditors and they're out there filming at postal offices and people are like, you can't film me. There's no expectation of privacy in public. You want to go, stay in your home. Record from home, stay at home forever, never leave again. You can't tell some kid who's innovative enough to figure out how to track your jet, which, by the way, you're out there talking about climate change and you're flying around the world in a private jet. You know, the amount of CO2, let's just see how much CO2 does a private jet put off as opposed to a human being, and how long? How much? And again, I don't know if CO2 has anything to do with anything. I think that temperature pushes CO2 up, if you look at the 750,000 year history, that's what happened. There was a long time ago where temperature went up and then the CO2 followed. So how much CO2 does Taylor Swift emit? Here we go. Let's figure this out. With over 8,250 tons of carbon dioxide emitted from her private jet this year, nearly 1,200 times more than the average person's total annual emissions. 1,200 times more. So basically, her jet was the equivalent of 1,200 people living for a year emitting all the carbon dioxide they can. Wow. How much? $38 tons. This one's at 80. What? How does that even make sense? Till it produces 138 tons of CO2 emissions in 3 months, to see soulmate Travis Kelce. I mean, I don't disagree that when you're at that level and you're a billionaire, that you shouldn't be traveling in your own private jet. I just think you shouldn't be some stupid bleeding heart asshole who's out there telling everybody else in the world that they have to stop doing things when you're out there for 1,200 people. You're pushing out this, it's like you can't be a hypocrite. You either say, I got my jet, I'm doing my thing, you do your thing, this world will be fine in 1,000 years and 1,000,000 years. We'll either be here or we won't. But it's not going to be the decision of you stopping to use your CO2 or me stopping to use mine. That's fine. Live with it. Own it. But this whole idea that you got Al Gore and he's like, we don't know. Not Al Gore, I'm sorry, the Heinz dude, John Kerry. Oh, he never owned a private jet. His wife did. They traveled everywhere in the private jet. But then he's out there talking about how you can't use your car and you got to get an electric and your ovens and your dishwasher and everything's going to have to be more energy efficient because of CO2 usage. But you got motherfuckers out there who are 1,200, megatons in it, whatever the hell it is. And I just think either own it and say, yeah, I use it because it's not going to change anything. Or you say, look, we're all the issue and I got to stop using my private jet as well. So I don't want to hear it, John Kerry. I don't want to hear you going out in front of groups of people talking about climate change and about how we have to go and be better. You're the biggest hypocrite I've ever seen in my life. If you see him, I'd love to see this interview. Let me see if I can find this for you. You guys will love this. It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Let's see. John Kerry. Here we go. John Kerry private jet. Is this the one? Yeah, this is it right here. You guys just need to see this.
When my son Brian died,
I want you to see the insanity of the world that we live in today.
Stop young people from drinking and driving, and because of TikTok, I can reach millions of people around the world. If you save one person, that's one more person that can change the world too, right?
Can we?
Mr. Secretary, in exchange with Mr. Mills, you just testified under oath that you never owned a private jet.
Watch this.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to enter into the record article here from February 15th of 2023. The John Kerry family private jet was sold shortly after accusations of climate hypocrisy. Mr. Secretary, do you stand by that testimony that you've never owned or
I personally,
your family?
by
your family?
Personally, yes. My wife owned a plane, and she sold the plane.
You flew on that plane?
Not in a number of years, but I have flown on it,
And
sure.
this article is not then inaccurate, that your family owned a plane, you flew on a plane.
My wife
Mr.
owned
Secretary,
a plane.
here's the issue.
Yeah.
This isn't some kind of partisan gotcha. When we are asking Americans to make serious sacrifices as we transition for the common good, and your family and or yourself are flying around on private jets, that smacks of hypocrisy. It actually hurts your cause, Mr. Secretary, but I'll move on. I just want to know from a record standpoint.
Afford me the right, at least, to set the record straight here. I do not fly on a private jet. I do not fly. I fly commercially.
Have you
on
flown
all
on a
of my
private jet since you've
responsibilities.
taken this position?
Just let me just finish. I have flown 5 times in the last 2.5 years on Millair, which you also fly on,
Sure.
or some of you who travel fly on, 5 times. Otherwise, all of my trips are commercial
Have you
airlines.
flown on a private jet in a personal or official capacity since you've taken this position?
Possibly once. I just don't, I'm trying to think of the
I
date.
think you need to take the broader point of how this appears to the American.
This isn't the one.
As we're asking them to take that.
Let me tell you why.
We're
Not asking Americans, we're not asking.
There's another one where he gets totally slammed. I want to find that one. Where he lies, literally. He's like, well, we never owned a jet. I gotta find that one. I think this may be it here.
Mr. Secretary, in exchange with Mr. Mills, you just testified under oath that you never owned a private jet.
Yeah, this is it, but
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to enter into the record article here from February 15th of 2023.
He literally said, I never owned a jet.
The John Kerry family private jet was sold shortly after accusations of climate hypocrisy.
Thank you.
Mr. Secretary, do you stand by that testimony that you've never owned or
I personally,
your family?
your family.
Personally,
You see
yes,
this
my wife
freaking
owned
spin?
a plane. And sold the
You
plane.
flew on
That's
that plane.
Let's look at him. Deer in headlight.
Not in a number of years, but I have flown on it, sure.
And this article is not then inaccurate, that your family owned a plane, you flew on a plane.
My wife owned a
here's
plane.
here's the issue.
That's okay, right?
This isn't some kind of
jerk. No, it is a gotcha moment because you're out there telling people they can't do anything, and your wife owns a carbon guzzling plane. Carbon emitting insanity is what this is. This is the biggest head fake in the history of time. It's all for money and to screw us over. Paris Accords, all this garbage. None of it's going to do anything to help us. I think what I heard about that Paris bullcrap is that they just charge you, like, you get charged fees if you go over the carbon. It's not like they're doing anything to stop. China's the highest emitter of carbon on Earth, and we're here at the lowest, and we're telling people to do better. But you're okay with China's at 8 point whatever it is. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. None of this makes any sense. You can't in one part of the world be great and then have China doing what they're doing. It just cycles back over. This is stupid. Everything they do is stupid. And then they're out there pushing everything on that. Oh, I don't know, guys. What do you think about all this? I think it's all insane. Corruption uncovered. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think we've gone through enough news for the day. That's what I think. I think we've done it. We did it. And sometimes when you're in the process of doing it, you get to the bottom of some interesting things. For me, I don't know. That's what I feel like sometimes. What did you think about the news today? I think there were a couple funny moments. Of course, this is all just a day's work here. I'm not really sure if it's going to get any better, if we're going to have more funny news stories. Everything seems to be so dramatic and serious. Trying to inject as much comedy into the daily negativity is tough, man. I'll tell you, you see, I'm scrolling through and all these stories are gaslighting stories. And I'm like doing my best to read them and add some color and see if we can get you to see some perspective without getting in trouble too. It's like this freaking high wire act that I have to continue to, like, oh my goodness. It's all in the 1775 playbook you got, Mark. That's very true, my brother. We have to have Hilly on. I want to have Hilly on for a chat for sure. King Kong, how are you? We got my brother Raven in the house. Helen Gale, you are amazing. Thank you for being here. Oh, goodness. Scrolling back to see if I missed any other family members kicking it with us here. S. Coop, Will, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for being here. I'll try my best to be on. Actually, I think if anything, I may be on early later, like early, 6 o'clock early, something like that, 6 or 7. So I'll keep you guys in the loop. I'll send out a little note. Three-Eyed Giants, did they see 4D? Are you the Triclops? Yeah, the Triclops. Look, I have a tablet, an ancient Sumerian tablet. It talks all about the Triclops. Like, I'll get it out for you. You know, we'll read it with the 1775 Bible. We'll kind of do it in unison. Like, I'll read an Old English passage, and then I'll read about the Triclops in ancient Sumerian, which I also speak. Some people are like, "Oh, were you from Sumer?" Possibly. Look, we've all been here many times before. You know, India, they talk about it. I'm just telling you, go check it out. Reincarnation. I may have actually been around as Gilgamesh. You know, some people say, they're like, you have the knowledge of Gilgamesh. You know, also the power. Oh, goodness. I'll get that tablet out. I'm getting it for you for the Triclops. Oh, goodness, you guys are awesome. Thank you for letting me make comedy out of silliness here. Let's see if I can say goodbye to you officially. Don't go anywhere. Where are we? What are we doing? Trying to find it. I think the Triclops may have been the story of the day. The moment of the day, at least. There's actually a few good parts, I think. If you haven't yet, please hit the like and leave a comment. That mean a lot to me. Helen Gale, Hilly Billy, King Kong, Raven Kiefer, S. Coop. You guys are amazing. Thank you for being here with me. I very much hope to see you later on. And if you can, if there's anything funny here, leave a couple notes about it so I can go and pull it. I'm trying to see if I can get all these news stories out for you. I do have the one about the Cleveland Indians. It should be ready by this afternoon, so keep your eye out for that. And I will be back later. You got to go away, yeah. Oh goodness, where's the outro here? You got to go away. There it is. Until later, fam. Yes, Hilly, I did see. There's a lot of people posting my content on TikTok. They're all getting views and I'm not. It's very interesting. But at least we know the content does play. It would be nice if they came back to the source. We'll see if they ever find it. You got to go.